I just don't like astrology and stuff because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's because somebody shifted accountability. And I hope your whole life you haven't been shifting accountability, that you haven't always been putting it off on other people and you've been taking it all on yourself every time. You always
No,
take accountability for your issues?
every single one.
Why did your last relationship end?
Because okay, there's two spheres. Like I said, with her, compassion, right? I'm always here to give compassion where it's due. So let me take my accountability first. One, I thought I was ready until I noticed that what I was asking for was a higher expectation of my partner at the time when I should have just been more, I wouldn't say silent, more patient for him to get out of the situation that he was in. Then on the other side, I went through something extremely traumatic. I was betrayed by friends back to back to back to back. And then I went through I don't even know what to say, an extreme mental breakdown that I've never went through before. Um I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say everything because that's what my ancestors don't want me to do, but there was an extreme traumatic event that happened in downtown Dallas where I was running completely naked through downtown Dallas in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
So complete not there. Right after I went through that, I was waking up every single night with scratches on my arm. I couldn't even sleep at night. I used to be able to walk through the nighttime like I'm good. Night walker, basically. Not afraid of anything.
Do you take meds now?
No.
You don't take anything to like stop you from doing something like that again? Like any type of SSRIs or anything?
That was one time and one time only.
So you're just like, but you didn't go to the doctor and say, "Yo, this is crazy. Like, y'all got some medicine to stop stuff like this." Like,
I've always trained my mental. Even when I went through 13 years of depression, I trained my mental to be stronger than that.
did you ever take any type of medication your whole life, like any type of prescription drugs
No.
to like help you with anything?
No.
Did your parents ever? Because if you were depressed for that long, then you were a kid. You know, they were never like, you need to go take this. Like, you need to take antidepressants. They never tried to get you on anything.
My mother, she like wanted me to like we kind of like went to the doctors, but she was never really with the taking anything. It was just
Your mom doesn't like that stuff either.
it. She was trying to find solutions, but she gave me that baton, like, it's up to you if you want to take this. It wasn't
Well, yeah, I'm
ever
not going to
her.
force a pill down your throat.
Yeah, like, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
I want to ask you, what about you? What's something that you did wrong in your last relationship and something that he did wrong in your last relationship?
So, since being out here, like, I guess reflecting on everything that I've done, not done, like, what's happened. I know communication was one thing that I know I need to work on. I'm still working on it now. Um, there's times where, like, I wasn't really 100% in the relationship. I was more trying to go through the motions, like, okay, I have to wake up, go to work. This is what time he gets home. This is what I have to do. Like,
You're like roommates almost.
yeah, kind of,
Going through
yeah.
the motions.
Yeah.
Wait, like, what do you mean communication issues? Like what communication issues did you have specifically?
So I always keep things bottled up. That's my big thing. So whenever there's something's bothering me or anything along those lines, I tend to keep it to myself because part of me is like, okay, like, it's whatever. Didn't mean to happen. Didn't mean to say that wrong thing or like whatever. So I tend to keep things like bottled up.
Okay.
And then on his side, I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I was blindsided by the whole thing. So I just was kind of like a.
Did he cheat on you? Like, what happened?
So I had some old coworkers tell me that he did with another manager from outside of another state because he was on a team to help do like
So
makeup
y'all worked
reason.
together?
So we didn't work together. So he was a manager of his own store, and I was an assistant manager at my own store. We're like separate stores. So he was over there, I was over here. So we're doing our own thing. Kept it separate, like kept our marriage and work separate because it could get ugly.
Yeah.
For me. And had a lot of people after I move up here, I had like 4 or 5 people say, yeah, he cheated on you with this other manager that's from New Mexico. They were getting really close at like the last manager meeting. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense because obviously it didn't line up with all the things that he told me. But since now, hearing all that, it's like, okay, that makes more sense.
Now, be honest. Were you playing games with them though?
No.
But like you said that you weren't communicating. Like, was that legitimately you just being like, I don't know how to communicate, or was that legitimately you being like because this is what most women do. They stonewall. So like you just stonewall. Like, you don't want to talk about it. You're not gonna say anything. Like you
Yeah.
just don't say nothing. That's still emotionally manipulation. So like, did you do that? Did you stonewall him to the point wherever he went and cheated?
So I didn't know that he went out and cheated. Like I didn't know any of that. I thought, everything was, right as rain, everything was good.
But were you just consistently stonewalling him though?
I would say so, yeah. But
Like, it's a
I
very normal thing in a toxic relationship. Like, and like, it's just, to me, it's crazy because it's like in those relationships, like I would just instantly be like, yeah, well, I probably shouldn't have done that because that, like, if I don't communicate with the person who is my husband, that's what's gonna happen. Like, you have to communicate. Like, so what did he do wrong that made you not want to communicate with him?
I felt like it was more if I was to say something to him, he would get mad. And he's very like it's either my way or no way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how usually a lot of our arguments started was because like say, oh, I didn't like um how do I say this? Like, he has younger brothers. So I was like, oh, I didn't like how your younger brother did this and that. I'm like, well, it's none of your damn business. Yada yada yada. And I was like, yeah, I understand it's not my business, but I mean, your family kind of makes it everybody's business. So, uh, I'm supposed if I'm going to say something about it, it's like me being more like a concerned like sister-in-law or concerned family member than somebody just wanting to have like cheese man talk, talk shit and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there was a lot of that just because I mean if I said something he didn't like it, starts fights.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the marriage, I just learned to keep things to myself, keep things quiet, and so eventually it did eat up at me, and I did explode, implode, like whatever.